Didik TV KPM.
Okay, so for sampling and estimation, these are the terminology which the student should be able to define in context of the questions.
Okay.
For sampling, so this chapter got two main parts. One is sampling, one is estimation.
Yes.
For sampling, the student should be able to find and describe every aspect about sample mean and sample proportion.
Yes.
Okay, let's say one example, simple example. Okay, the standard deviation mass of steel sheet in a batch of production is 5.67 kilogram. A random sample 100 sheet drawn from the batch. Okay, what is the population concern? Next one, determine the distribution of the sample mean.
All right.
So we want what is the population. Okay, so as what I mentioned earlier, so you define. So population refer to all steel sheet produced in the batch of the production.
Okay.
So this mark you only can obtain if the word all is seen.
Yes.
If no all, you cannot get this mark.
Okay.
If let's say you write population refer to steel sheet produced in the batch of production, you won't get that one mark.
Okay.
Okay. So next one, they ask you to give the distribution. In order to get distribution, you must do three things. First, you have to state the conditions. Okay. So what is the condition here? Okay. The sample size is large enough. Here the sample size is 100 by using CLT. So you can use CLT, stand for Central Limit Theorem.
Okay.
Okay. So this is your condition. So then we determine what is the distribution. So the distribution here is normal distribution. So X bar as normal distribution.
All right.
Okay. Then we have to state the parameters. So what is the parameter? This is the parameters.
Okay.
So here clearly shown that this one and this one will give you 1 mark.
Okay.
The distribution is approximately normal. You will get 1 mark, and then your parameter you will get 1 mark.
All right.
Okay, we continue. Okay, to solve problem regarding sample mean and sample proportion, very easy. We just follow these 3 simple steps. Okay, these 3 simple steps. That means you have to define the distribution, and then you use the step 3. You need to find correct mathematical symbol at what I mentioned earlier. You standardize, sketch the normal curve, and determine the value required.
Yeah.
Okay. Underestimation. This is the second part of the chapter. Underestimation, we must know 2 things. One is point estimation. In point estimation, you must find unbiased estimate. You need to find unbiased estimate for population mean. Okay, which is shown something like this. And then you need to find for variance, population variance. And then you need to find for population variance. Actually, this is the standard formula.
Okay.
All these formula derived from here.
Okay.
The student should be able to know, okay, this one derived from here.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is proportion. So for proportion, okay, we got only one formula, simple formula.
I noticed that each of these formulas have a cap of some sort on top of the symbol.
Okay, Sean, if you notice, if you write like this one shows you the mean of the population.
Okay.
If like this mean, this is unbiased. That means we using sample value
Okay.
to implement to the population.
I see.
So 2 different things.
Okay.
Don't confuse. Okay.
Alright.
So when you find unbiased estimate, you must have your cap there.
Okay.
Okay. We continue. Next one, interval estimation. Under interval estimation, you need to find 2 things. You have to determine and interpret confidence interval for population mean using this formula, and then population proportion by use this formula. Okay, I no need to explain the formula because all of you should know.
Okay.
Okay. Then step involved in confidence interval for population mean and population proportion are the same. Okay, you got 6 steps here. Okay, step 1, identify the distribution of the what you are referring, whether population mean or population proportion. Then step 2, you determine the value of Z score based on the given values, okay, given confidence level. And then you need to determine the margin of error. Some use E, some use H, doesn't matter.
Okay.
But the formula remain the same. Okay, the first one is formula for population mean. The next one is formula for population proportion. Okay, next we have to construct by using this formula. Okay.
All right.
Then step 5, we have to make statement. So how to make the statement is like that. For example, let's say that one is 95% confident. So you have to write a 95% confident interval for mu is this one. That
Okay.
means the standard wording is like this. You just have to fill up your confidence level here and then your value here.
Ah, all right.
So easier for student to remember. Okay. And then interpret your interval. Interpret means we are making conclusion. How to make your conclusion? Okay. The way of doing conclusion is I take from above. We are 95% confident that the mean mass of the durian, because you are dealing with mean. So
Okay.
mean mass of the durian is between this one and this one. We open back this one from interval form.
I
Direct
see.
statement.
Okay.
So that means the interpretation should follow this pattern.
Yes.
Always will follow this pattern. Okay. So effect of sample size and confidence level to the width of the interval. So this one you should know that when sample size increase, your width of the interval will decrease.
Okay.
Okay. So we want to make the interval become much more narrower. Okay. So when confidence level increase, your interval width also will increase.
All right.
Okay. So narrower is much more better.
Okay.
Okay. We continue. Okay. Next chapter is hypothesis testing. Okay. In this chapter, we are going to test two things. One is population mean, another one is population proportion.
Okay.
Since this one involves a testing, it must follow certain procedure.
All right.
If you never do any of the procedure properly, you will lose marks.
Okay.
Simple as that. So you have to know what are the steps one by one. Okay. Let us see one by one what is the steps. Okay. What is the main key terminology you should know in context of question? So these are the mainly come out in exam, the 4 terminologies.
Okay.
Okay. So next one is population mean. Okay. How to test population mean? Very easy. 6 steps. Whenever you come across any test, remember the 6 steps. First one, you define your mu or sigma, where you need to state your null and alternative hypothesis. Okay. In step 2, select the distribution. Okay. By assuming H0 is true. This is our H0 and H1, but here we assume the H0 to be true.
Okay.
Then in step 3, we need to find critical value, critical region, okay, based on the significant level and type of the test. We got 3 type of tests, left tail test, right tail test, two tail test.
Okay.
Okay. So let's assume our significant level here is 5%.
Okay.
And LTT stand for left tail test.
Okay.
Right tail RTT. Okay. So let's say this one. So my critical value for this will be like this. And then my critical region for in the form of interval.
Yeah.
Then I make a early decision. Early decision we call. That means H0 is rejected if my test statistic is less than my critical value.
Okay.
So this step you must have 3 things. 1, 2, 3 things. Okay, 3
Alright.
things. Then we continue. In step 4, you calculate the test statistic. Okay, this is very simple. Just apply the formula. Okay, let's say, I assume that my test statistic is negative 2.091. Let's
Okay.
assume. Okay. So in step 5, we will make decision based on step 3 and step 4. Okay. When doing the decision, actually, if you notice on,
Yes.
we got 3 layer statement.
All right.
Okay. What are the 3 layer statement if you notice here? Okay. First, we have to do comparison. Comparison. Okay. After comparison, from the comparison, what is our result?
Okay.
Then we do decision here.
I see.
So 3 layer statement. So that's why I put here the way of writing. Always must be 3 layer.
Okay.
Okay, then continue. Last step, you must do a conclusion. Okay, based on step 5, whether you reject or do not reject H0. So if you, let's say if H0 is rejected, you have to write at alpha % significant level, there is sufficient evidence. That means if not rejected, at alpha % significant level, there is insufficient evidence that. Okay, so these 2 are important things when you do a conclusion. You must have the word significant level and then evident or significant level, insufficient evidence.
But what happens, like you mentioned earlier, we have to follow the steps. But let's just say we skip a step, but our ending or our final answer is correct. Will anything happen then?
Yes, your mark will be deducted.
Okay.
Your mark will be deducted. That's the
Alright.
main thing. Okay, it's not wrong. Mark will be deducted.
Okay.
And population proportion also, we got two cases. One for small sample size. Okay, the way of doing remain the same. It's not much different.
Yes.
Same like what we did in population
Population mean,
Same.
yeah.
It's nothing different.
Okay.
Okay. You can read here. So we are using here binomial. For less than small sample size means less than 30. Less
Okay.
than 30 we will use binomial distribution.
Okay.
So slightly different in our test statistic here. Okay. For large sample mean must be greater than 30.
Yes.
This one is almost identical to the 6 steps are almost identical. Only slight different here we are using normal distribution. That's the difference.
Yes.
Just now we use binomial. If large mean we are using normal distribution.
Okay.
Okay, let us see one example.
Okay.
Okay. This is a question regarding hypothesis testing. Okay, so this one regarding mean age. So I am testing mean. Okay, at least 44 years. So this is the key point, Sean, here, 44 years. At least 44 mean must be greater equal to 44, which means that one shows you null hypothesis.
I see. Okay.
Okay. Then the mean age of the random of 36 patient is 42.6. And then they give you standard deviation. They say, carry out a test. That means you know this is hypothesis testing.
Okay.
Okay. 5% significant level to determine whether there is evidence that the doctor claim is true. You want to test whether the doctor claim is true.
Okay.
So we let mu is equal to mean age. Okay. So as I mentioned just now, we got 6 steps. So step 1, we write our hypothesis.
Alright.
Null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So this where students always do mistakes. This one. Because if your sign is, you got 3 possibilities. Either will be greater or not equal or less than. Okay, different symbol will come out for different tests.
Okay.
But for your H0, you can use equal sign. Doesn't matter.
Oh.
Always equal sign.
Alright.
Easier. Okay, so first step, you get 1 mark. Then you define the distribution for X bar by assuming H0. We assume this one is true. Okay, so our critical value, our critical region based on what is given 5% significant level. So our early decision, we will reject this. Okay, so step 3. So in step 4, okay, I find my test statistic using correct formula. I substitute inside my formula, okay, and I find my value is equal to negative 1.68. Then in next step, as I mentioned earlier, Sean, if you notice here,
Yes.
3-layer statement.
Okay.
Comparing, based on the comparing, what is my result? Then from the result, what is my H0 is rejected, my decision. H0 is rejected. So I get 1 mark here. Writing all that, I get 1 mark.
Alright.
Okay, so my conclusion is, at 5% significant level, there is sufficient evidence to reject the doctor's claim because H0 is rejected. Okay, or you can write like this. At 5% significant level, there is insufficient evidence to conclude that the doctor claim is true. Basically, we are rejecting the doctor claim. So this is how you write the 6th step when you answering exam question.
Didik TV KPM